Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, hosted by Jamil Damji, Pace Morby, and myself, Brent Daniels, where we talk about everything real estate investing, wholesaling, building businesses. It doesn't matter if you've done a ton of deals and you're a seasoned pro. It doesn't matter if you're going after your first deal. It's going to be tips. There's going to be strategies. There's going to be instruction that you can implement into your business right away. We are so excited that you are here. We are so excited it is a new year. This is Wholesale Hotline number 151, where we're going to be talking about the difference about getting deals from agent outreach versus direct to seller. And to help us,
you're going to have to be the referee because Jamil and I are going to be fighting over here. We're going to be reaching out in fisticuffs.
Well, listen, we've got another person in the ring with us.
Ooh.
The incredible Henry Washington. Everybody give some love in the comments section to Henry. Henry, welcome. Come on in.
What's up? What's up, buddy?
There he is. Flexing. Great to see you. Great to have him. What a way to start a year.
Do you see the backdrop of Henry Washington behind Henry Washington?
I love it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a confident man that has himself watching his own back.
Somebody's got to do it.
You know.
Hey, can I take a minute just for a second? Everybody give Jamil Damji some love in the comments tonight. He lost his puppy Beasto. Mr. Easton passed away last night. I'm so sorry to hear that, brother. We love you.
Love you too.
Had him for 7-8 years.
7 years, yep.
And give Jamil some love. That's losing a dog is like losing a family member. They are your family members. So love you. And saw Jamil earlier a couple hours ago, and I could tell he just went through something very stressful and sad. So please give this man some love in the comments. Make sure you DM Jamil. Tell him you love him, etc. Now, on to the show.
Henry.
What's up, buddy?
What side are you on here? Or is it agent outreach or is it direct to seller?
I mean, I like to be in control of my own deals and not have to depend on somebody else's level of competence or lack thereof to send me my deals. So I'm direct to seller for sure.
My man.
I gotta watch Jamil as he's boiling over.
Well, it's interesting that he said he likes to be in control of his own deals, and I understand that, but I think that it's a misconception that you don't have control over a deal just because you have an advocate who is experienced in real estate and can explain the things that could be going on throughout a transaction to their client. Also, that same person has hopefully industry knowledge or market knowledge about what's going on with the times, how to mitigate expectations. There's a lot that I think an agent brings to the table when they are facilitating a transaction. And I think depending on how you structure the agency relationship, you can actually have that person advocating for you. A lot of the deals that I do through agent outreach, I have more control over the deal than I would if I was direct to seller because I've got the realtor representing me in the transaction. They take what they end up doing is they say to the seller, even though they did the lead gen to bring the seller to the table, they say, Mr. or Miss Seller, how I'm going to present this is I'm going to bring you a cash offer where you don't pay me a commission. In fact, my buyer will pay me a commission and you'll get a net price, which for a lot of sellers is really an attractive thing because for the most part, homeowners don't respect or appreciate all that real estate agents do in a transaction. And they oftentimes think, wow, that's a lot of money I'm paying this person to push paperwork. And so when you can have the realtor position themselves to be your advocate that you pay, I think it provides an attractive opportunity and an attractive solution to a seller. And so,
Hey.
wow. Oh, wow. Was I just getting heckled?
Yeah, absolutely. She said, if you didn't understand, she said direct to seller, direct.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, listen, I'll take heckle from that cutie pie any day.
Any
High
day.
five. Yeah.
While Henry is settling his daughter in, shout out. What's her name, Henry? By the way.
This is Evie.
Hi,
Evie.
Evie.
Hello, beautiful.
Hi,
Can you say hi? Can
Evie.
you wave? She's
Wave
waving.
to us.
She's waving.
Wave to us.
Yeah.
All right. Can I put my 2 cents on this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please do.
I'm going to give you guys the appropriate answer, the right answer. Okay, this is the right answer. Both of you guys are really cute with your answers, but I got the right answer. Okay. Here's my take on it. If I want to get a deal this week, I'm going to direct to seller. If I want to have eternal deals coming to me for a lifetime, I'm going direct to agent. I could make so many arguments for both sides. If I'm starting out, I'm not calling an agent. Okay. I'm absolutely not calling an agent. I'm going to go out right now. I'm going to go foreclosure or expired listings. And I'm actually going to use agents as a tool against agents. I'm going to call sellers directly or text sellers directly. And I'm going to say, hey, looks like an agent failed you on your listing. What were you looking for that you weren't able to receive on the market? Maybe I can help you out. I'm getting a deal that week, especially right now, getting a deal that week. The challenge for me is I'd say 80%, maybe 85% of what I touch is creative finance. And do you guys remember, anybody here licensed? You're licensed?
Yep.
You remember what your score was when you passed? Was it like 1% higher than what you passed?
Pass.
Pass. It was pass.
It's pass or fail.
Okay. Real
You
estate.
had to get 80% or higher.
I think the
So it's
new
above
law
80.
is 74%.
Nice.
Okay. 74%.
Making it easier.
Right. So what I learned is the 26% that real estate agents actually fail on is the 26% that matters to me, which is how to comp properties, how to
Sure.
value things, seller carrybacks, creative finance. They have no clue. They have absolutely zero clue. They're not educated. And so what they do is they are the anti-advocate. What agents do with me when I'm talking creative finance is because they don't understand it and they don't remember what they were taught in school and they haven't gone out to learn anything more. They actually fight against me until they get into such a horrible corner that they have to go to the seller and fight for me. So for me, what my experience is the opposite of what Jamil's experience is because I'm primarily going after creative finance.
Right.
But I do agree with Jamil is that when you have a motivated agent and they understand the real estate investor game, they will become an advocate for you. However, here's my final nail in the coffin. Most real estate agents don't make any money. Look it up. Look at the stats. We have 64,000 real estate agents in Maricopa County, where we currently reside, 64,000 licensed agents, and less than 7,000 of them actually make a full-time living.
Just over 100,000 sales a year in Maricopa County.
Just
To put it into
100,000
perspective.
sales. That
Right.
means between 64,000 agents, only 100,000 sales were done. Not many of them are actually making a full-time living. So what you have to do, in my opinion, and Jamil will educate people on this, is you have to throw out the other agents that are not doing anything. If you want to hurry and go get deals, you got to go and filter the ones that are actively doing deals, which are active listings. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're.
I'm saying
again,
if you want deals this week.
if you want deals this week, right?
Mhm.
There are absolutely. You're right. You got to go on market. Okay, that because we know that there's an expressed interest to sell. We know that all of these homes are listed, and it's a conversation that you're having with a real estate agent to try to get the price that you need in order to turn it into a deal. So you can get a deal this week going direct to seller. You can get a deal this week going direct to agent on market. I think nothing that you just said right now, I disagree with. I wholeheartedly agree with the sentiment. I agree that when you're talking creative finance, when you're talking non-traditional transactions, it is an uphill battle working with a real estate agent.
It's an extra step.
It's an extra step, and
it's
creates friction.
It's a big step.
It's a big step. Again, speaking from the position of a wholesaler who primarily deals in cash deals, right, where I'm looking for deep discounts, motivation, and opportunities to wholesale for for assignment fees. I've found personally that working with real estate agents has been my bread and butter. Here's the kicker, and I think this is where Henry will have a lot of insights to add to us, right? Because you and I, we work in a very competitive market here in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a lot of people going after cash deals, creative deals, on market, off market, pre-foreclosure, code violation, the whole gamut.
Probate, door knocking.
All of it.
You guys call a foreclosure right now. They've already had 15 door knockers go and knock their door.
Correct. Now, I want to use a little bit of your history against you, and I'm going to tell you.
I love this.
I'm going to tell you.
This is a sign of a good friend that remembers your history.
Yeah.
I love you.
And why I want to use it against you is because...
Be gentle.
100% I will be. Because you were a part of a national franchise that used very expensive direct-to-seller marketing as their primary method to get deals under contract. Mm-hmm. And when you're working in a competitive market like Phoenix, Arizona, I've heard you say it before, but I'll let you quote it because you'll know it better than I. The average price per phone call,
oh my gosh,
was how much?
14. When I first started with Homevestors, it was 400, 500. By the time I left, it was $1,000 per phone call, roughly.
Yep.
And it currently is teetering at around $1,500 per phone call, not per lead.
Right, per phone call.
Let's clarify that though, because those are phone calls coming inbound. All right, our job and what we do as real estate wholesalers is we find deals, we find discounted property, you find incredible opportunities. We can even wholesale creative deals.
Of
right,
course,
we can do all those things.
Yep. I saw that your team was doing one right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
sold it this morning.
Yeah,
multiple offers.
Great.
Really popular. Anyway, there's three ways to get leads in, right? Marketing. What we're talking about right now, we're $1,000. You spend a lot of money for people to call you. Phenomenal leads. Ready to go now leads. The timeline for these leads is short. They're ready to take some action. They've made the decision. They're going to sign a document.
Well, I just want to, phenomenal, maybe not, because my point was it was $1,400 for the phone to ring. Right. How much was it cost per contract? So when you actually convert it into a deal?
Great question. So, and I love that you're using this against me because this is all appropriate information, and I love that about you.
Yeah.
It's good. You're a great arguer. Okay. So, and Henry Washington also does direct mail a little bit. So this is a great conversation. We're going to beat him up a little bit.
He's just quiet there because
he's writing down notes.
The giant Henry behind Henry right now is waiting to pounce.
So what was the average?
Deal? The average wholesale Homevestor franchisee, the average was $10,000 per contract.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's average leads.
Leads is $1,000.
Right.
Contracts 10,000, 10 leads.
So that's average. 10
I
phone calls.
I was king closer of the whole nation. I was top 3. Jason Ellingson was number 1, and Ryan Chenoweth was number 2.
Right.
Do you remember Ryan Chenoweth?
Both wonderful gentlemen.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody was better in the country. Out of 1,400 franchisees.
Yeah.
Our average cost per contract was about $3,000 to $4,000.
Right. Which again, when you're talking. Because you guys are at such you're almost the statistical anomaly, so you have to remove you from the.
It's called $10,000.
You're right. You call it 10,000. 100%
agreed.
So, but what I meant by that is phenomenal leads is you have to talk to 200 if you're just picking up the phone and prospecting. That's the
Yes.
second way, right?
Of course.
You can get marketing coming in.
Yes.
You can prospect where you're
Yes.
going out and being proactive, or you can get referrals,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Which is the most profitable. We'll get to that.
Yep.
But you have to talk to 200 people yourself. That means 199 people are going
Said
to
no.
absolutely like shit on you,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Well, actually, it's about 180. 19 of those are going to be like, okay, I might want to sell my property, and one will do business with you.
Or 19
as opposed
out
to
of the,
10 conversations.
right. Out of those 19, you'll buy 5 more of those, but it won't be for 6 to 12 more months.
Right. And the average when you're calling somebody is 92 days to get a deal. When somebody was calling you, do you kind of remember when they called you?
Oh, dude, if I didn't get a contract within a week of that,
And closing paid how long?
30, 40 days.
Right. So you can pay marketing. You can spend a lot in marketing to get people to call you. It's going to be shorter. You're going to make your money. They're going to be good deals. You can be proactive, reach out to people. It's going to take you longer, but it's way less expensive and you're more in control. Or you can get referrals and become the guy or gal in your town that everybody knows to send ugly houses.
There's never been a better lead in my life, ever in my life, than a direct mail lead. Never been a better one.
Well, speaking of direct mail leads, let's introduce a wonderful friend of the show, wonderful friend of the three of us, host of BiggerPockets Podcast. He is he's one of the most truly one of the most gracious, down to earth, but really successful real estate investors I think exist. And happy to have Henry Washington on today's episode. Henry,
Let's give him this. Come
yeah,
on.
let's
Come
give
on.
him the bell. Henry, welcome. You're just a jewel of a human being, and you're long overdue to be on this show. Talk to us.
Please tell me that Henry Washington is also on Henry Washington's shirt.
Yeah, on his hat as well. Yeah,
My man.
yeah,
That's right. Look.
yeah.
Look.
Here's one thing we did not call him: humble. We did not call him humble because if you guys again didn't notice, there's a giant Henry behind Henry. There's a Henry on Henry's head. There's a Henry on Henry's face, and there's a Henry on Henry's shirt.
Yep.
But he is a sweet
Somebody
man.
called it a 5-layer burrito.
Oh wow.
So
Wow. Henry, tell us a little bit about your experience with direct to seller marketing. You're in Northwest Arkansas.
Right.
How is that panning out for you? What is your metrics? What does it look like for you to get a deal? What is the costs for you to get a deal? And explain to Pace exactly why I'm right.
Yeah, man, you're right. Northwest Arkansas, I'm out here, right? And so I do have the benefit of not being in as competitive as a market as you guys out in Phoenix, Arizona.
this is
right?
where I was heading, by the way,
Yep. So
because that is the distinct advantage that he has in that market when it comes
Agreed.
to direct mail.
Agreed,
Do you
yeah.
agree, Henry?
100%.
Yeah, because people in
absolutely.
Arkansas still read mail.
Yeah.
I've nothing against people in Arkansas. It's just that you guys still haven't figured out what the internet is.
there may be some truth to part of that demographic for that. But yes, absolutely. So yes, for example, because I have a lot of students who are also doing direct to seller, right? And so in more competitive markets, and I would say where I can send between 1,000 and 3,000 pieces of mail a month, a student can't send any less than 3,000 in a more competitive market in 1 month with the expectation of getting quality leads for a deal, right? And that can be expensive depending on the kind of mail that you're sending. It's also time consuming, right? And so I think Pace is right. I agree. Direct to seller if you want a deal soon, right? Agent outreach if you want an inflow of deals, because you're right. What you're doing, what Jamil's doing is he's able to make essentially business partners with agents who are able to send them quality deals. It's just that you've got to filter through a lot of nonsense with some agents, right? In order to find the ones that are going to send you that deal flow. Not every agent you work with is going to send you deals for life, right? And so for me, direct mail is supplementary, right? That's not the main strategy I'm using to find deals. For me, the most profitable method and most cost-effective method that I use to find deals is cold calls.
Yeah.
I can call I can call way more leads in a shorter period of time. And then I subsidize my cold calls with direct mail. Really, my direct mail is to get an extra touch for those people who may just not want to talk to the cold caller on the phone, who may just think that cold caller is not serious, or right, because I have a third party doing it for me, right? And so, and I've gotten several deals where we've called multiple times. All we got was voicemail. They got a piece of mail. They called me and we got a deal, and vice versa. I've had people that I've mailed for months and months and months, put them on a cold call list, and boom, we landed a deal. And so the combination is what I find to be most successful. My most profitable lead source isn't mail or cold calls. My most profitable direct to seller lead source is my website Google AdWords campaign, bringing me motivated seller leads that way. But it's
pay-per-click. Wow.
Pay-per-click. Yes.
Okay, so you've just dispelled the whole lack of internet opportunities in Northwest Arkansas. So,
well, Elon Musk, Starlink.
Yeah.
You can get it anywhere.
Okay, so,
you can get it anywhere now.
So pay-per-click again. Listen, this is really eye-opening because, as you all know, my marketing poo-poos a lot of the things that we're talking about today. And let's be clear, guys.
Can I let somebody in on a secret? Maybe you're about to do that. Can I let them in on a secret?
Please.
There's a huge secret that everybody should take note of with this. Everything that Jamil is saying, Pace is saying, and I'm saying, it all works.
Yep.
It all works.
Don't tell people the secrets, bro.
And it's just it. It is true. Every bit of it works, and you've got to decide for yourself what's your lane. What do you prefer to do? What do you enjoy doing? Here's the fact, right? I listened to a man like Pace Morby on the phone with a seller, and it is like watching a WWE wrestler. Okay.
Doing a promo?
No. Yeah, really.
It's like Joe's versus Joe's, right?
Like take just candy from babies, right? It's just like it's unmatched. He knows where they're going. He knows where their objections are. He understands their hang-ups, their
bunnies.
The bunnies. He knows the things, and so there's a lot of emotional intelligence that goes into being able to create one of those opportunities. There is a lot of emotional intelligence and technical expertise required in being able to run a Google AdWord campaign and not go broke. Right.
Ooh.
And I've tested it, right? I've tested pay-per-click before. I've tested it for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I have not been successful at it. And that doesn't mean I still will say that I'm one of the greatest wholesalers ever, but I have not been able to master pay-per-click. I've not been able to do it. And so when I say something like that, it doesn't mean that pay-per-click is sucky because I can't do it. It's just I haven't figured it out. Yeah. Right. So there's nuance, there's things, there's skills, everybody has a lane that they're going to be able to grow and gain their expertise. And this man right over here made an entire brand off of pecs and talking to people, right? Cold calling was revolutionary when Brent Daniels got online and started telling people, hey, lazies, stop sending out postcards that are going to go find their way from the mailbox to the recycle box. Go buy a list and start calling people, get hung up on 199 times, and you're going to get a deal, right? When he figured that out and he understood the whole game of the numbers game, that created and has made so many successful wholesalers.
Well, I also talked to a lot of people that didn't have a budget for marketing.
Hold on.
They have a confidence to call a real estate agent up and say, hey, listen, I want to buy this deal or send me
You think it takes more
deals,
confidence
right?
to talk to a real estate agent who we've just said doesn't make a lot of money, is undereducated.
I don't think it takes more confidence necessarily. I think that the people about to call an agent are fearful of people with licenses. They treat an agent almost like they're calling an attorney.
Yeah. So you think that
they're shaking? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna call an agent. Like, they make $12 an hour.
There's a limiting
and they're working
belief
at McDonald's
in people's minds that they're talking to somebody that's this high authority.
Yes.
That they've got to. So again, this is part of I'm demystifying that, because when we're calling agents on the phone and you pick up, on the live stream, and the person's literally taking a shit while he's talking to me about a house that he's got listed on the MLS, right?
Yeah.
You realize, oh, wow, you're actually taking a shit right now while we're talking about a house that's listed on the MLS, and you are not this almighty authority on real estate. I can hear the echo.
Yeah.
I know what's happening right now in your room, right? And so there's this thing. You also demystify the cold call, because listen, we've got hundreds of folks. There's near 600 people watching this show right now, and it'll grow to 700-800 throughout the night. And I can tell you that there's going to be a couple hundred of them who are scared to death of picking up the phone and calling a pre-foreclosure list.
I would say 90%.
I'm one of those people.
Right.
I don't want to do it. I don't do it. Right.
You outsource it. Well, I want to do a pros and cons real fast. Okay. Let's talk about agent outreach. I want everybody to go around and say, what's the pro of agent outreach and what's a con? Okay.
Yep.
Can I start?
Yep.
Please.
Okay. My pro of doing agent outreach is that you can build lifelong relationships when you find the good real estate agents, like the Monique Walkers, like the Laura Morbys, all of those types of people. You will have business coming in for the rest of your life. That's the pro. The con for me, this has been the challenge for me, and Jamil will probably have a good answer for this. My personality razzle dazzles when I'm with a real estate agent. And when I decide it's time for me to build an automated business that doesn't require me to be there anymore, my agents feel displaced. And they go, where's Pace? I want to talk to Pace. I want to talk to Pace. No, I don't want to talk to your little minion, blah, blah, blah. So that's my big con. And I feel as if direct to seller marketing is more scalable with me gone, my absence. Like, I forget that I even have a direct to seller business. And that's my pro and my con of direct to agent outreach. What are your thoughts, Brent? What do you got?
Pro, you find 30 in a market where the median sale price is in the 300s or more, 50 agents, if you're below that send you 2 deals a year, one every 6 months.
Yeah.
You're set for life.
That's easy.
You are set for life. If you are not building up your referral, there should be a huge poster or a whiteboard in your room, in your office, in your living room, I don't care, in your garage, that has 1 through 30, and there should be boxes, and there should be pictures of the agents that you put into those boxes, because you get 30 to 50, you are set for life.
True.
Set for life.
Yep.
Because 1, you're going to profit 100% on those referrals, and 2, they're going to build that long-term relationship that's going to feed you when times are tough, and when people run into the market and really screw up marketing numbers versus prospecting numbers, all these different numbers. When more people are going at it, you're still getting referrals because you got your homies. Okay.
Yep.
The con is it takes a while to find the 30 to 50 people. That's it. Maybe a couple years, maybe a few years. But once you have it, I mean, if you look at it from a lifetime, if you spent the next 48 months finding 1 agent a month that'll send you 2 deals a year, you're done. You're set.
Well, love both of what you guys said, but it's a little bit incorrect. To start first with the scalability, you're right. When you pass on an agent relationship to somebody in your office, it is a delicate procedure, right? Because I've had,
I love that.
I've had to do it.
Procedure.
I've had to do it, right?
Yeah.
I scaled out of Keegley. The majority of the agent relationships in the early days were my agent relationships.
Yeah.
And I had to pass them on to very capable individuals that I trained and that were trained in our Keegley process. And very many of those relationships stuck with the representatives that I handed them off to. So scalability wise, it worked. Was there leakage? Absolutely. I have not ever been able to hand Monique Walker off, nor would I want to, because she's one of those, she became a friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She became somebody that I
transcended business. She's now like a sister, like
exactly.
a friend.
She's a friend. And so like, I actually care. I genuinely care about her and her family and her well-being. And when we talk, it's not just real estate. It's how's your daughters? How's your husband? How's tennis? How's, life? What's going on? What's new? It's the stickiness of that relationship, the depth of that relationship is true and real. And I gained a friend from that. And so I love that, right? Mm-hmm. The other side of that, and you said the time aspect, right? Yeah. Well, I've got thousands of astro flipping mentees and community members who have proven that it doesn't take years to create those relationships. In fact, those relationships can be created rapidly. And that procedure can happen in a rapid form through one thing. And it's the thing that I've talked about many times before. And it's actually doing the thing you say you're going to do. When your
deal's closed.
When your deal's closed, when you perform, my friends, the level of trust that you gain with somebody is it's immediate. Mm-hmm. And it then doesn't have to be this year-long or 2-year-long process of continuing to touch the relationship and nurture the relationship, because action speaks louder than promises.
Jamil, give us a pro, give us a con. Let's pass it over to Henry right after you're done.
Okay. So pro for me with working with real estate agents, of course, it starts off outbound, mm-hmm. and then it very quickly becomes inbound. And so I love inbound business. I love business to business sales. There's a level of sophistication that comes from business to business. And for those of you that don't understand what I mean when I say business to business, there's a few ways to look at marketing and sales, right? There's business to business, and then there's business to consumer. When we're going direct to seller, that's business to consumer, meaning that we're dealing with somebody that's a little bit less sophisticated with what's happening. When you're going business to business, they understand the rules of the game, and so I find that easier to deal with. Some of the cons on the other side, okay? Mm-hmm. You are dealing with exactly what Pace had talked about earlier. There's a good chunk of real estate agents who are lacking fundamental education and knowledge of investment real estate. And when you take a realtor who has been, well, not even sometimes trained, but is focused on retail sales and a retail transaction, and you try to bring them into the world of investing, it requires finesse, it requires education, and it means that you have to be of a higher caliber of understanding. You can't just jump into that conversation and start talking, because you will get smacked down when you don't know terms like EMD, COE, mm-hmm. Escrow officer, or title report or prelim, or when somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to send you over the prelim," and all of a sudden you're like, "Huh? Is that a cop?
A HUD?"
Like what do you mean? So yes, there's pros and cons.
Henry, what do you got, brother? What give me a pro, give me a con of agent outreach.
Yeah, for me, is the con it's the having to, because in my experience, 9 out of 10 realtors that I talk to, I have to educate on what it is that I'm doing, why I'm doing it, why it's of benefit to everybody. And right. So for me, it's the having to educate, and then the time it takes to foster that. But when it is fostered, it's great. I can think of 2 deals right now that I've been holding that are probably some of my best cash flowing deals that have come, that agents sent to me, directly to me, because they knew exactly what I wanted. And as soon as they saw it, they knew it was for me, right? It took some time to get to that. The pro, the con is something that's probably a little different than what you guys might say. My con is there's less warm fuzzies, right? I don't get the same warm fuzzies.
You don't get to directly touch the bunnies.
I don't get to directly touch the bunnies. I love seeing people just ecstatic because I've solved this major. Like, I feel it, right? I feel what I've done from the beginning to the end. I see it when the seller was having an issue. I see how to help them. And sometimes, fellas, the help doesn't even come in the form of me buying their house. But if I'm in there belly to belly with them and I can see their house, see their bunnies, see the problem, if I can solve that problem without buying their house, I'm still solving it. I don't get the same warm fuzzies with the intermediary in between. It's different. Yes, agents have bunnies too. I agree. But I like helping the seller. I like seeing the whole process. I love driving down the street in my neighborhoods today, seeing a house that I knew somebody had an issue with, and it was a shell of itself, and now it's renovated, and there's a family, and they're playing in the yard, and kids are enjoying it like that. I need those warm fuzzies.
Okay, so Jamil had a really great point earlier. He talked about how you kind of have to know yourself, right? And you have to understand your budget, because I think that there's one major pro on direct-to-agent outreach that nobody, out of 4 people's pros, nobody talked about this. The cost of a lead is free.
Right.
Okay, so if I'm just starting out and somebody comes to me and says, like when I first started out, my wife was my transaction coordinator. She was my follow-up person in the office because I was running a big construction company. I was told, go spend $5,000 on direct mail. How many people in the side chat? We got 700 people watching right now live. How many people in the side chat right now could afford to go drop $5,000 on a direct mail campaign? And not only drop $5,000 on a direct mail campaign, but afford to not get a deal out of that $5,000.
Devastating. And it makes people quit.
Right.
Right.
Or they get those calls coming in, they don't know how to convert them.
100%.
That's even more heartbreaking when you know you've got that opportunity, and then somebody comes in, or they bring in a couple different people, because that's something that you deal with when you're dealing with marketing is competition.
Right.
You're not the only postcard that they respond to. You're not the only website that they put their information in. Now it could be. You could find, the people that just did one and done and just made one call and they went and worked with you. But a lot of times you're one of several offers that they're going to get.
So let's break that down real quick, because Henry, I've got a handful of amazing questions for you. Yes, my questions are always amazing. So we'll get to that in just a second. But let's say that like Rylas Dana, right? One of our probate attorneys here locally, he's been on the show a handful of times. He's constantly and frequently in the side chat with us all the time. When he came into the business, he says, Pace, what should I do? Should I go out and knock doors? I go, no, dude, you're a probate attorney. You make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in your day job. Don't quit your day job. He goes, yeah, but I gotta create leads. Okay. You have a budget, right? He goes, yep. I go, this is where having a budget dominates, is because you can send out direct mail. And by the time you come home at night, you've got leads, or you've got your secretary at your probate office handling these phone calls coming in from your direct mail. He's like, oh, that's easy. But I would never give that advice to somebody that's starting out that doesn't have a budget, right?
What about people that don't have the time?
Bro.
How about people that can't use their cell phone during the week because they're, in the military, or they're driving, or they're a nurse or a teacher? People starting out in this business, if you miss a call from a marketing campaign,
oh, bro,
you're missing out on that lead.
Yeah,
right. And so we've had lots of solutions to these things, right? So for direct mail, or even for cold calling, we've had, there's a number of great VA companies that have come out, and they do a phenomenal job, but it's still, there is always this 900-pound gorilla in the room when we're talking about VAs, and it's the language barriers, communication barrier.
You dispelled some myths earlier, but I do own a virtual assistant company.
Yeah.
But here's my argument, and I am biased, so take my word with a grain of salt. And Henry's going to agree with me. Because he uses a virtual assistant company to do his cold calls. I would all day long rather have somebody with a horrible accent that actually works 8 hours a day than an American with the most eloquent voice only work an hour a day, pretend like they worked 8 hours a day, complain, show up late, ask for a raise every 30 minutes. The second they get a deal, they want to go out and create their own mentorship program. I'm over it. I'm over the Americans. I don't have a single American that works in my acquisition business, because I absolutely despise the American acquisition model, because consistency trumps everything else, and Americans don't have consistency.
Americans living abroad do.
Yes.
Fran, shout out to Fran if you ever watch this. I doubt that you will, but if you do, I love you. She made us almost 700,000
Fran,
this year.
Fran, if you're looking for a job,
685. But she made us in 2022.
But I do agree with
One
Jamil
caller.
is if I'm doing agent outreach with a virtual assistant, these people are licensed individuals. And if you find a good agent and they get a Filipino on the phone, they're immediately like, nope, somebody's cold calling me, hang up, right? Sellers that are in distress, it's a different story. That's my experience. I would much rather, yes, if I have an American on the phone, my conversion rate goes way higher. But if I have a Filipino on the phone, I have way more conversions because my consistency is actually there. They actually show up and work for 8 hours straight rather than 8 minutes an hour, right? And they make excuses.
But I would highly suggest, and a lot of people don't do this, I would highly suggest that you personally, as the owner of your business, talk to 1,000 property owners before you hire anybody to make calls for you. I would.
I'm too scared.
I think that you should put in the work. I think you should bury that fear and that limiting belief that you can't effectively communicate with distressed property owners. Because if you're able to go there, you're able to find really, really, really solid talent that are going to stick around. Fran's been with me for 4 years, but I also talked to tens of thousands of property owners myself.
What do you pay, Fran?
$20 an hour, $22 an hour.
So that's the thing, right? If you want somebody with the consistency that Pace is talking about, where you've got a person who's going to show up, do the work, not complain, not steal your business, not ask for a raise every 30 days, you got to pay them $22 an hour because they got to feel like they're making the money. What if there was a solution that was the best of both worlds?
There is. He just nailed it.
Oh no, I mean talking about being able to pay close to what you pay, but having
the Canadian thing.
Well, guys, I mean, I'm putting it together right now.
Well, I support it 100%.
Well, don't talk about it yet.
I'm not talking about it yet.
You're putting it together. We'll do a future episode. Henry,
Pace and I are going to do this together.
Henry, here's what I want to know. We know you're direct to seller primarily, and we know obviously you do deals with agents. I do deals with agents as well. I just prefer not to. If you tell me tomorrow you drop me in the middle of Bentonville, Arkansas, is that where you're at?
Yep.
If you drop me in Bentonville, Arkansas, an agent wouldn't even pop up in my mind as a place to go get a deal. That's just me. Jamil, what's funny is it would be literally the opposite. So this is what's great about Wholesale Hotline is you get all the perfect balance, right? Yep. So for you're in Bentonville.
Yep.
You start out today. Is your first place you're going is you're cold calling distress lists, and then you're going to start supplementing with mail, and then supplement with a website after that, because a website, the con of a website is it takes a year to get to a point where you're top rated, right?
It takes a while. Again, I third-partied that as well because I was with Jamil before. I tried the whole pay-per-click thing on my own and
you outsourced
it. So now I outsource it to a
Okay, so what's my sequence of events? What's my 1, 2, 3 punch to get into business in Bentonville, Arkansas?
Yeah, you're going to pull a list of motivateds typically. So I'm pulling a list, anybody that has 40% equity or more, and anybody that's been in the home for 15 years or more. And I am calling them, right? Putting them on a call list. And then I'm supplementing that call list with mail for the ones who don't answer the phone. And
ooh, I like that filter. Is there any other filter for your direct to mail besides the ones that just don't answer the phone?
Yeah, no. So my direct, yeah. So, and then I've got, if it was just me on my own starting out, I'm driving for dollars, and I am putting that on the call list as well. I get the quickest response when on my driving for dollars list. And then so I'm calling that one as well.
Are you virtually driving for dollars, or are you physically driving for dollars?
I physically drive. I pay somebody to virtually drive for me.
Are you paying Evie to go do your driving for deals?
Yes, exactly. I got her a little Jeep frozen car. Frozen Elsa on a Jeep, and she just takes that around the neighborhood and she's tagging houses.
Love it. So your first list is high equity owners that have lived in the property for over 15 years. I'm sure
the majority of my deals have come from owner occupieds.
Owner occupied. Interesting. This is interesting.
like
where
90%.
Wow, owner occupied. I love the KPIs. Have your owner occupied properties been primarily people have been in the property 10 years or longer?
Yes.
Okay, 15 years or longer.
10. It's typically 10 or longer. 15. We've had some 15 and up, but the sweet spot is about 15. That's what I love.
Okay, love it. So I'm cold calling these people. I'm asking if they're interested in an offer. The people who don't answer, we're sending direct mail, which saves me money.
Yep.
I love that. What about texting? Are you texting as well?
I've never done text.
Text is, I mean,
For 3 years, that's where like 80% of our deals came from.
For 3 years, it dominated.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with the current way that the cell phone carriers have been really putting down and clamping down restrictions, it's unfortunately been finding it's a much harder lead source to accomplish.
Is that what
Yeah.
you've been finding as well?
500. Yeah, we did $500,000 in 2021.
Can I caveat that?
In text, and 100,000 in 2022. So
That's-
down 80%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me caveat that, right?
Yeah.
So you have to remember, and for those of you guys who don't know, yes, I consider myself a very successful real estate investor. I don't have a large real estate investment company like the gentlemen who are sitting at the table there, right? So I only want to generate a certain amount of leads. If I'm generating too many leads, I'm not
I
capitalizing.
love
on it.
this information.
letting
This
them
is
go.
so good.
I'm letting them. I only want to, because I don't have a goal of flipping 100 houses a year. I don't, right? I have a very reasonable goal for the size company that I have, and the reason that I don't have a large company is a lot to do with the same warm fuzzy thing that we talked about. I don't have a desire to have a large house flipping company, and I don't want everybody who's listening to feel like they got to churn 100 deals a year, right? Like I have found my sweet spot. It's what I like and it's what I enjoy. And so no, I haven't done texting because I get my lead flow is good, and if I turn it up, yes, I'll make more money, but I'm not prepared infrastructure wise to handle those, nor do I want to be.
Henry, question for you, brother. By the way, it was really great hanging out with you. My wife loves you. My daughters love you. Jamil introduced us. You guys are on the market together.
Yeah, that's right.
I just look at it as like the total BiggerPockets world, but you guys are on the market together. Really appreciated spending time with you. Me, you, Jamil went out to Fresno and really felt like we became brothers, and really just want to thank you for the new friendship.
Oh man, thank you, man. Pace, your kids, man. They make me smile. They made me miss my kids, man. They're amazing.
Did you go home and make more kids?
Absolutely not. 100%. They did not make me do that.
They ain't that cute.
They ain't that cute. Okay, so Henry, here's a question.
They
for
are,
you.
Laura. I'm just messing.
Because here's the thing that I looked at Jamil, I looked at Brent when I was coming up in the world. They're my heroes. They were my heroes. They are my heroes. They will continue to be my heroes because they're constantly evolving. And I always have something to look up to them for.
Yep.
The audience looks up to you, Henry.
Yep.
And so what they want to do is they want to become like you, right? So my question is trying to expose a little bit of that. Going from 22 to 23, how is Henry evolving into the new year? Forget about the market specifically. We've had enough questions about what does Henry Washington think about what's going to happen in the market?
Is it going to crash?
Is it going to crash?
It's 08 all over again. Oh.
I want to know personally, what are your goals in terms of growing your business, growing yourself? Are you happy with the level of business? Like, for example, a Subway franchise selling sandwiches, they max out at about 500 sandwiches a shop. Okay.
Yep.
So a Subway franchise owner can go, you know what? I'm really happy with this. I'm making a good amount of money. I'm going to spend all my time with my kids, my wife, etc. That's an amazing goal. Yep. Or are you the guy that goes, I just hit my max on this. I'm going to go open up another franchise 17 miles down the road, and I'm going to do 500 more sandwiches. Are you trying to expand your business, or are you really happy where you're at? Are you joining masterminds? Where are you getting education? I want to know, what are you doing to evolve into the new year?
Yeah, I love it. What a phenomenal question. I am happy with the volume of my business. Maybe tweak it up just a little bit more, but my goals for this year are not far off from the goals for last year. I'm looking to add another 10 to 20 doors, and I flip about 10 to 15, sometimes 20 houses a year. I like that sweet spot. I enjoy that sweet spot. I don't have a desire to be much larger than that, but I am doing different types of deals because I want to, I just love real estate. I love all the aspects of it, and I'm a student of it. And so, people are like, the riches are in the niches, stick to your niche. And there is truth to that. Absolutely. I just want to learn different parts of it. It's just fun. So I did my first commercial deal this year in 2022.
Congrats.
So
In Bentonville or where?
In Rogers, Arkansas. I bought a 12-unit office complex.
Does anybody feel like when they named like little towns, you're like, is that even a real town, or are they these made up towns? Is this a real town, Rogers, Arkansas?
I think what happens is that like the guy who founded the town, he calls it after himself. Like it's like, oh, I'm in Arkansas and my name is Roger.
Yeah.
Hey, where are you at? Oh, I'm down at Rogers.
Rogers, Arkansas is the home of the very first Walmart store. Walmart store 1 was built in Rogers, Arkansas.
Wow, that's cool. So you did you keep going. I'm sorry. You did your first commercial deal this year.
Commercial office deal. So I now know, based on doing that deal, that I enjoy it and I want to do more. So I'm looking to do at least one more commercial deal this year. I also am doing my first new development project. I bought the land last year, but we're going to build this year. And so this is my first ground up development. And so far, I've enjoyed the process. So I may look to do more of that.
I'm interested in your development, and actually, that's one of the very, very few that I've spoken to that are actively breaking ground in the current climate. Can you explain the thought process?
Hold on. Let him keep going. I want to get into education and what's he trying to do. I want to finish this
circle
question.
back to that.
I will.
Write that down. That's a good one. I like that one.
I will. I'm also doing my very first trailer park. So I've got that under contract. We're set to close.
Isn't every property in Arkansas a trailer park?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I saw it. I could see it cooking in your brain. You couldn't let it go.
Am I the only one that laughed at that, or did I offend?
No.
How many people live in Arkansas?
A lot. I just went to Little Rock and hung out there for like 4 days for Thanksgiving. It's freaking adorable. It's amazing.
How many people live in your town, Henry?
So we've got like a smattering of towns right on top of each other. So
sure.
Bentonville, Springdale, Rogers, Fayetteville, University of Arkansas there. So it's a pretty big metropolitan area. They call it Northwest Arkansas, or the Beverly Hills of Arkansas, right? Because you've got Walmart headquartered here, Tyson Foods headquartered here.
Did you know, just as an interesting fact, did you know that if you're going to do business with Walmart, put your product on their shelf, they require you to have a headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas?
I did not.
Therefore, they have like high-level CEOs from all these big companies, CFOs, big companies come in. The average salaries in Bentonville, Arkansas is probably higher than Scottsdale, Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you also know that everybody in Little Rock, Arkansas is required to take a blood test because 1 in 12 of them could be related to Bill Clinton? All right.
That was good. Should we
pull that out?
So keep going, Henry. So you've got a ground up development. You did a commercial deal last year. You want to do more this coming year.
Yep.
What about things that you're trying out? Like, are you still trying to get educated? Like Jamil and I are probably going to spend, I don't know, a good $100,000 traveling around the country, going to masterminds and learning new things and opening up new doors. Are you doing those types of things as well?
Absolutely. I'm traveling all over the place, even more travel this year, going to masterminds, joining new masterminds. I was a part of a couple this past year, and now we're going to do a couple of more this year, and as well as expanding my education business because just like I get the warm fuzzies from being belly to belly with sellers, I get even more warm fuzzies when my students do deals. I get more excited when they do a deal.
That's what's up. That's why Henry's on this show, is because he's one of us. Mm-hmm. He's the kind of man who his purpose is to see other people's lives evolve and change by gaining financial freedom. And I see that in you, brother. That's why you are one of the best.
I've known since my very first deal that God sent me to real estate, not so that I could solve my problems, so that I could help other people solve theirs. It's not for me.
Okay, so you've got a desire to go out and join masterminds. Anything that's you're excited about? Anything you're joining this year that you might want to tip people off on?
No, nothing I want to share details on just yet. But I've got two that I'm absolutely looking at joining. Haven't joined yet.
Love it. Okay, cool. So, babe, you're done with babies.
Absolutely.
You're looking to join more education. You're looking to acquire 10 to 20 doors this year. Is that primarily in Bentonville, or is that Arkansas, or are there other areas you're looking to buy in?
Yeah, so I mainly invest here in Bentonville and then Southwest Missouri, so about an hour drive from here. My trailer park is in Mississippi, so that is my first true like out of state deal. But I like investing at home. I live in such a unique market that it's what I like to do.
You would never guess that Bentonville is the way it is. It's the weirdest thing. It's like the North Pole. It's the weirdest little thing.
People land and they go, "This is here."
What are your guys' thoughts on this? Is there a point, Jamil and Brent, in your guys' businesses that you know, like what Henry is doing, right? Everybody is asking the same question, like, when are you done working? When are you done evolving or growing your business? Have you guys hit points in your businesses, your wholesale business, that you're like, I'm good. I want to automate, make it efficient, and then go create new businesses, new opportunities for myself? What does that look like for both of you guys?
I'll start. I mean, I had that vision and goal for Keeglee when it started, right? And so successfully, I've been able to scale that company to hundreds of franchises. We are doing phenomenal across the nation. I'm not involved in the day-to-day there any longer. I spend the majority of my time working with my astro flipping community, helping them, working with folks out of the sub 2 community, collaborating with you, traveling the country, being your best friend, keeping up with you, keeping up with Mr. Daniels here. And I'm massively enjoying it. I'm enjoying our time with A&E, creating one of the most incredible television shows I think exist in the space, and that's been phenomenal. And I hope to continue doing that in the future as well. Right now, for me, the evolution in what, and I wrote something. I felt maybe it came off a little aggressive on my post yesterday, but I mean it. And I think
the IRS?
No, not that. Not that.
That was a good post, though.
It was. My wife made me take it down. The real thing is that I'm really looking at 2023, the evolution of 2023, as if what comes my way or our way does not offer a significant amount of value for the Astro, TTP, Sub 2, Wholesale Hotline, BiggerPockets community, if it is not community-based, if this is not about connecting people and loving on people and helping people, and it's not about some cash grab, it's not about, hey, Pace, Jamil, use your influence to fill our seats so that we can do this and do that. I am over it.
Yeah.
I am over because guys, there are levels to this game, and when you get to a spot that the three of us or the four of us are in, there's this place where you get exploited, and you know it.
Yeah, 2022 is a big year for us getting exploited for sure.
We got exploited.
Yeah,
and so
these are stories we haven't talked about.
We don't talk about it, but we know it's happened, and I'm done with the exploitation. I feel that I'm at a spot now where I can say no. And I'm going to say no and I'm going to learn no in like 30 different languages.
It's always no, just so you know.
Is it?
No, in Korean it's annyeong.
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 Yeah.
Great. Annyeong. If you guys have something that you want me to do that doesn't affect the community, help people and connect more people, annyeong.
Yeah, that's exactly how you say it. Or ande.
I'm just saying, it has to be this. This is what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for people to come to the community with actual value, with their hearts in their hands, wanting to help. Otherwise, please don't bring it.
Yeah. Mr. Brent Daniels, what about you, brother?
Beautiful. You're the best.
I love you.
In 2000, I wrote an email. I was a freshman year. It was my first year in college at NAU. And I wrote an email to my favorite teacher, Mr. Hall.
This is NAU,
And,
like Northern Arkansas University?
Northern Arizona. Close.
Oh,
I don't
got
know
it.
if there is a Northern Arkansas. That'd
Got
be
it.
cool.
I was going to say, is your dorm room a bunch of mobile home parks or what's up?
That'd be cool to then go back and buy them. Yeah. Anyway, no, I wrote a letter and I said, I think I want to be a teacher and a coach, because I had, I just felt a calling to that. I felt like that's what I wanted to do with my life. And so I started taking education courses at NAU. And then I realized that the economics of being a public school or a private school teacher were not there. So I switched that over to business. And then I opened up my first brokerage in 2006 and 2007. I was growing it. It was big. It felt like, I mean, I was 1/100th of the financial and business intelligence you have, Jamil, at the time. And I just grew real big. I signed on a big office space. I brought in a ton of people. I hired a ton of people. I didn't really look at the books. I was just running and gunning. The business was good. And then 2008 hit and I lost everything. And they repoed the cars. I foreclosed in the 5 homes. That wasn't the toughest part. The toughest part was firing the staff.
Oh, yeah.
That to this day, I'm going to cry. That to this day was the hardest part of that whole entire process. Was they believed in the vision. They believed in me as a leader. They believed in all these things. So from there, I had to scramble. I had to do a lot of different things. I had a judgment for almost $1 million for the office lease that I signed and couldn't pay for. And so just scrambled and made a bunch of phone calls. And here we are. And I knew that I wanted a lean company. I wanted something that was 3 or 4 or 5 or less than 10 people.
A lean company, meaning a small, efficient company.
Small, efficient company that does $1.5 million to $2 million a year, and I keep 50% of that. That's what I wanted. So I could go back into that core, just like Henry was saying, just like after you do your first deal, God tells you that you're like, I got to share this. Like, I got to be as loud as possible and go out there and share how you can literally take a phone and out of thin air, call somebody that has an ugly house and change your financial future. And I knew that was it. And because I kept my business small, because I don't have to worry and market shifts, and it always shifts, and it just shifted this year. And I could keep the people core. I could keep the core people. They could get paid all 6 figures. Everybody's doing well. And we can keep going into this new year and have a lot of momentum behind our back. And I can focus on what I love doing the most, which is coaching and teaching.
Freaking love that.
Amazing. How about you, Pacer?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite of all 3 of you guys.
Tell us.
I'm like, I feel like I have the world right in front of me. I feel like I have the bull by the horns, and I could flip that bull over.
Yeah.
I want to go big.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel what it feels like to not just become as wealthy as we all are, but I want to make some of the most important people on my team as wealthy as I am today.
I love it.
And so my goal is, I read that quote of how do you become a billionaire? And it's by making 100 millionaires.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, I need to make 100 millionaires.
Yes, sir.
If I have the energy, the power, power meaning physical nature, I can wake up early in the morning and I can overcome nausea, and I can overcome, people filing bankruptcy on me, and I can overcome being exploited. Then God put me on this earth to work on behalf of other people. And that was an interesting thing for me. About 5 years ago, I realized I'm not here just to take care of my wife and my children. That's easy. That's like child's play for me. So if God gave me these amazing talents and these traits, I need to go as far as I possibly can with it while I have the energy, while I have 2 feet, while I don't have, cancer, maybe when I'm 91 years old. I want to make sure I extract all I possibly can out of life by giving all of it back to other people and getting them to where I currently am today. And that doesn't just include my own team. That includes your team and other people around me. Looking at handsome Bobby over here. I look at the people who have helped us get where they are, and I'm like, how do I make sure everybody's taken care of while I have the energy of a volcano inside my veins?
Love that.
I'm a little bit
I don't think
different.
that's opposite of what we're talking about.
No, I mean, like in terms of acquiring assets, I'm like, I want to go, like last year, my goal was to gobble up 500 assets. We gobbled up 1,600. I have 1,600 extra doors in my portfolio than I did last year. And this year I'm like, I'm going for 2,000, and I hope I smash that record. So I'm like, go crazy. And I know you're putting a single family fund together. I'm putting a big multifamily fund together. You and I are going to go gobble up a bunch of stuff. So more, #more. And,
Love it.
and it's not just for me. I'm not going to change my lifestyle. I'm not going to change anything I'm doing. Also, one big thing, Jamil, I really love what you said. Last year, you and I together traveled to 61 locations together. 61.
Did you, I actually did the accounting.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Did you count what that came out of
the
pocket?
investment was?
No, but I know how much I gave last year. I gave in terms of gifts, donations, and helping other people is $1,005,000.
Incredible, right?
Yeah. And you and I traveled a lot, did a lot of things, but you and I traveled to combine 61, or I'm sorry, not combined, together, 61 times together. I traveled 71 times last year, 10 times by myself. Kind of towards the end of the year, I was visiting some of my properties. And I told myself that if I can't bring my wife and kids with me, the answer is no. And I just got asked to go to a big mastermind. I said, can I bring my wife and kids? I was like, it's not really that vibe. Cool. Then it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take my wife and my kids with me. My goal is for you and I to go travel one time a month, but to do something big, do it for, instead of 2 or 3 days, be there for 5 or 6, and then home the rest of the month.
I could not agree with you more for that. Looking at 2022, on average, I spent between 10 to 13 nights in my bed a month. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Right. It's unacceptable for our families. We got to do, look, we're here for the community and we're here for everything. But I'd say that the reason that there were so few nights in our own beds is the exploitation factor.
Yeah.
Right. It's not happening anymore, guys. Look, it ain't happening.
Henry.
Look, I want to make sure that people kind of take away from that roundabout that we just did, that Pace set us up for, because everybody does have different goals, but there was a common denominator amongst everybody's goals, and that was a focus on other people, right? And so as you guys, as new investors, are starting to build your business, make sure you don't forget that this is about other people. It's about how we can help other people. It's about how you can build other people up. It's about how you can be of service to the person across from you, no matter what that relationship is. Every single one of these people, we're all successful investors, and we all said we want to do something because we need to do it for other people. Don't ever forget that. The other thing that I'm personally not going to forget is, because you said you guys went to 61 locations last year. None of those were Northwest Arkansas. And so this year, you're only going to travel if you can bring your wife and kids, and you want to do one a month. I haven't received a request to come to Northwest Arkansas this year. You can bring your wife and kids.
When's the time to do that?
I'm just saying.
Hey, Henry, when does Walmart have its job fair? Its annual job fair, so that Pace and I can crush it, can come over there and just hang out in Benton, Arkansas.
Are you gonna do an event, Henry?
I would throw a huge event for these guys.
You do that, I'll come too.
Oh, hell yeah!
Sure.
Let's go.
That'd be great.
Henry, what's the month? Let's put it in. Let's do it. Let's say it right now.
I say when the leaves are starting to turn, it's romantic up there in Bentonville. I say you go September or
October.
Done.
Let's do it.
Okay. What's Halloween like in Benton, Arkansas?
Bentonville.
Well, I mean, depending on where you are on the outskirts of town, it could be scary on any given night. So it just depends.
It's Halloween a lot.
Oh, it's Halloween every night. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got tons of old buildings that they turn into spirit Halloweens or Halloween escape rooms, and tons of haunted hay rides or just regular hay rides.
Awesome.
We did go to a lot of the same places last year. That was another goal of ours. Was we went to Miami 6 times.
Yes.
We went to Dallas a whole bunch.
Yes, sir.
We went to I went to Boise twice last year, out of all places. Mm-hmm. You and I went once together. I went by myself.
I wish I had come the second time, because those chicken wings in that restaurant were to come back.
Oh my goodness. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Here's where we're going, though.
In Boise?
Yeah. We're doing Boise. I had Investor Girl Britt and AJ Osborne had me speak there last year. They asked me if I'd speak again. I said, I'm not speaking anywhere unless Jamil is speaking by my side. So that's the other thing I'm adding as a layer. I'm not going anywhere without my brother. So
I do Boise with you.
come to
I
bro.
do Boise.
If you want to do Boise,
Yep.
I think it's April or May of this year. It would be my one travel thing for that month.
Love it.
Okay. And then
Let's
what we
go.
do is so I want to do areas that we've never been before. I want to go to Detroit.
Mm.
I want to go to
Ooh.
Tennessee. I want to go to, we went to Birmingham actually last year too.
I like Birmingham.
It's so cute. Birmingham is so much cuter than people can even imagine. It's like,
and we haven't seen Flipman in a minute.
Yeah,
you
I'd
know?
love to go there.
We got to go hang out.
So
with
I think
Flipman.
I think we go off the beaten path this year in 2023. I think we go to some smaller areas that are not the DFWs. DFW I went to way more times than I care to admit. I
Mhm.
love DFW. I own real estate there. But I think we go to some of these smaller towns, the Boise's,
Is there a
Bentonville,
town
Arkansas.
called Girlsey?
I don't know.
I just because we got a Boise. Is there a Girlsey or is
Gotta
that
even it out?
yeah?
Yeah.
That's probably an establishment in Atlanta, Georgia that you could probably go to.
Oh, Girl C. Got it.
Yeah.
Ah.
So we'll go to Bentonville in fall
dance
of this
there?
year. We'll do a killer meetup, bro.
I'm in.
Are
Done.
you running a meetup out there in Bentonville?
Yeah, we run a small meetup, but we'll blow this thing up.
Awesome.
Does the CEO of Walmart make it out to that meetup?
Oh, Doug McMillan? Yeah, absolutely not. No.
Okay, so as we've got about 18, 19 minutes of the show, let's focus our time and energy on Mr. Henry Washington. You and Jamil are both on the market. How often does that show come out?
We have an episode weekly, pretty much, right?
Twice a week. Yep.
Occasionally, it's like 3 times a month, but phenomenal podcast, guys. It's one of the top-rated podcasts on Apple and Spotify in the investing section. We're
It's
typically
phenomenal.
top 5, over 1 million downloads and counting. It is hosted by the Data Deli, David Meyer, who I think is one of the most intelligent real estate investors
He's so
on the planet. He's not pace intelligent. He's data intelligent. This man will give you numbers and an understanding at the highest level of why things are happening the way they're happening. And then you can take the skills that you learn from another genius like Pace and then meld them together and go make decisions on where to go do business and where not to do business.
That leads me into my question for both you and Henry. We'll shoot it off with Henry. Henry, with spending so much time on the market, you guys are doing your research, you're having these conversations. What do you guys see in quarter 1 and quarter 2 of this year? Should I be afraid of buying a deal to fix and flip? Should I be afraid of getting into wholesaling? Should I be afraid of acquiring a piece of real estate because maybe the market's going to drop this year 20%? So if I buy, what's your guys' average purchase price in Bentonville? Like $112,000 per house. So our average house was at one point 450. I think our average house right now is hovering around 400. So we've lost around 12% in the last 12 months. So if I'm buying a buy and hold, or I'm doing a fix and flip, or I'm doing wholesale, should I be fearful of what's coming up in the next 6 months? Should I just hang on the sidelines? This is Henry first, Jamil second, since you guys are on the market and you guys know all your shiz knit.
Yeah, man. No, never fearful. Never fearful, but use as much current data as you can to educate yourself, right? And so I just did a video on this the other day. People are saying you can't flip, flips are dead, interest rates are killing it, and they are affecting the market. Absolutely, they're affecting it. It's taking longer to sell, but I also understand the numbers in my market. I know that houses are still selling at above. So we're selling list price to sale price ratio. We're still at 90%, right? And so things are still selling somewhere between 90% or more of what they're actually listed for. So I am, and I'm watching those numbers to see where they go, so that when I'm underwriting my deals, if the ARV is to what the ARV is today may not be the ARV in 90 days when I'm going to sell that property. And so I just factor that in on the front side, and I'm way more strict on my acquisition prices. But the benefits to the same market conditions that are telling me I might not sell it for what I want are also allowing me to buy it deeper than what I would normally be able to buy it for. And so the profits aren't much different, to be honest with you, because I can buy them deeper, even though I can't sell them as high. So no, I am not fearful. Real estate is market specific though. And that's why I'm saying, understand those metrics in your market. understand what's the list price to sale price ratio, understand what's the days on market, and then look at days on market a year ago, and then look at days on market pre-pandemic, right? If you can measure those three metrics, days on markets 2019, days on market a year ago, days on market right now, it'll give you a sense for what's really happening. Because yes, things have drastically changed over the last 6 months. But if you look back an entire year, or if you look back to pre-pandemic, it hasn't really changed a whole lot.
Henry, is there a resource that you like for people to be able to find that information?
Yeah. Complete total honesty, this is where agent outreach is awesome. I have a phenomenal relationship with an agent who's also a phenomenal investor. And so I can literally ask him once a month to send me all of the metrics that I want. And so I can take a look at those on a consistent basis to be able to measure. And so an agent who can get access to the MLS, unless you have a tool that can get access to MLS, you're able to look at those days on markets. You're able to look at those days on markets and the list price to sale price ratio. Those are things an agent can pull very easily.
Love it.
In Phoenix, Arizona, we have something called the Cromford Report.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is put together by Tina Tambor. And if you're an agent, I think you can subscribe to that for a couple $100s a year. It is so phenomenal. So if you guys are in Arizona, reach out to your local agent and say, hey, can I get access to your Cromford Report every single month? It is insane, the level of detail. Here's what's cool. There's a Tina Tambor in every single state. There's somebody aggregating this data.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving it to agents. Reach out to agents, just like Henry said, and ask them, hey, can I get analytics for the market? What's going on in the market so that you and I can work together more? Jamil, fearful or faithful?
Title companies, just to add to your thing you just said right now, title companies will also give you a very similar market analysis anytime. So if you are connected to like a national title company like Fidelity National Title, who we work with at a high level, Pace and I are opening our own title company, Complete Title. Is it going to be called Complete Title?
Yep, Complete Title and Escrow.
Complete Title and Escrow. It's going to be coming really soon. We'll be providing the same type of market data and research. So guys,
I didn't even think about how cool that'll be to be able to give that to wholesalers and agents.
It'll be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So the question was
fearful or faithful?
Can you pull up a Zillow for me right now? Zillow, if you don't mind.
I can. It gets a little challenging from where I am. No, I can't. Matt, you'll have to do it.
Matt, would you mind pulling up Zillow for me? I can actually share this now because I've closed on it.
Ooh, give him the address.
Yeah. Type in
your neighbor? The one in your neighborhood?
Yes.
Awesome.
Matt, you have to remember to share the Zillow on the screen, just FYI. I know, Matt. I know you're on it. I just want to say it out loud because somebody in the side chat's like, we can't see it.
Here, pull up. You know you don't know it. 4451. You know the rest.
I don't.
Earl.
You will. Yep. There. All right, guys.
Booyah.
Pull that up. Share the screen.
He's going to share it right now. Thank you, Matt. Guys, give Matt some love in the side chat. This guy has the longest hair in the media business, just so you know.
This is why I have a tremendous amount of faith in the market. If you look at this property, I don't know if you guys can see a full screen of it or not. I can't see much of it, but
it's 1.299 million listed.
Maybe some of the audience can see it. Let's look at the listing history and the days on market, and let me tell a story about it if we could. How do we expand that so that
they can see it?
They can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If we look at the original list price, let's look at the listing description first and foremost. If we could just read that.
You mean the appraisal?
No, not that. Just what the agent
Matt,
talked about.
Give us full screen on our side so we can see it. It's down. It's on our side. Up, actually on the presenter. No. Up on our screen. There you go. Right there.
Hey, beautiful. Okay, thank you, sir. And then are you able to scroll down or okay?
Matt, can you scroll down a bit? Yep, there you go.
Okay, so looking at this, right, we've got.
Go down to the description.
Is this me or him?
That's him.
Okay.
A little bit higher, Matt.
Look at the listing history on this, okay?
There it is.
And where did this house get listed at? If we can see it.
$1.5
$1.5 million. Okay. Very much a $1.5 million house appraised at $1.5 million. Okay. And how many days on market was it in totality? If you wouldn't mind sharing that number.
See it, Henry?
I don't see it. I'm looking for it.
What was it?
Yeah, just around 120 days. So not super long. Okay. This is why I love the direct to agent on market opportunity in this current market right now, because this is actually showing us true motivated sellers. If you're listing in a market like we're in right now, where interest rates are high and buyers are on the sidelines, but you have to sell, you will get beaten up. Zillow has this estimated at $1.2 million. When I closed on it, I had an appraisal done. The appraisal came in at just under $1.3 million. Okay. If you wouldn't mind, can you show the closed price?
At the top there, Matt. Sold right there.
$950,000. So this is why I have a tremendous amount of faith in the market, because I was able to generate for myself $250,000 in equity. I have a gorgeous home very close to where I live that I can turn into a beautiful rental, and I can utilize this house for so many different ways. And for me, in this current state of real estate, I can buy opportunities like this over and over and over again, and I will not have an opportunity to add this much net worth to my personal net worth statement until another market shift happens again.
If this property was on the market in 2021, it sells for 1.5.
100% it does.
It's a freaking great property.
It's a beautiful home. So this is, again, guys, this is the reason why you should not be fearful.
No fear.
You have so many opportunities, whether it be cash deals, whether it be creative deals like Mr. Morby is teaching thousands of Americans and non-Americans out there how to buy homes. And she's excited right now because she's talking about how she can buy a house right now with a 2.5% mortgage because she watched the Morby Method video on Pace's YouTube. And she's able to pick up these incredible opportunities right now that just don't exist.
Look,
guys, you should have no fear. You should have no fear, because if you're going creative, you're getting your asset is in the note. And in those low interest rate notes, you can't beat it. If you are going cash, you're going to get in a tremendous amounts of equity right now.
You know, it's been a thing, right? The past couple of years, everybody said, I want to get into real estate. I want to build wealth, generational wealth. They throw the buzzwords around. Well, this is when wealth is built. This is when the real wealth is built.
Yep.
You can't get scared now. This is when wealth is transferred from the fearful to the fearless. We're all buying. What side do you want to be on?
3 to 5 times in our life, Henry, in our professional lives, do we get the opportunity to buy incredible assets in incredible locations at incredible prices. It's just the truth. I mean, it's incredible. So if you're getting started right now, do whatever you can to get that first deal, cross that bridge from faith that you can do this, the belief that you can do this, to it becoming a fact. Go out and take action. It doesn't matter if you want to go towards the real estate agents or if you want to go straight to the property owners themselves. It all works. It all works. Jamil, you would have not bought that property ever if you didn't come into town and start putting together these deals where you found the buyer for deals and you found somebody that had an ugly house. You put them together. You did that like 40 times a month, built an incredible business, built an incredible brand. Now you got to buy $1 million property that's worth 1.5 cash.
Right. And somebody asked, hey,
after taxes,
will he be able to cash flow that my gosh, will I be able to cash flow it? Do you know what the rent on that house is right now?
The rent is really high, but also the Airbnb potential on that individual property is astronomical.
Astronomical. And I also plan to use all the parking spaces so I can Turo my fleet of ridiculous vehicles.
I thought he was a watch collector for a minute, but he's a car collector.
It.
Yeah.
How many cars do you have right now?
Lots.
Yeah, he has lots.
How many cars do you drive?
One.
Do you drive though?
No.
I've got a comment I want to address real quick, if you guys don't mind. David Pat.
Yes,
Pat
I was going to
Naw.
go there. Yes.
He says, but with whose money, man? I've been trying to do this for 20 flipping years. So yesterday, Sunday, I wake my son up. I go, hey, man, let's go make some videos, right, for his YouTube channel.
What's his YouTube channel called, by the way?
Henry Washington does YouTube. It's Asher Foss. He's only got 4 videos on there so far. He's still learning how to do this stuff.
Do we mind if everybody please, can we just share it so everyone can go give him a sub right now?
I from where I am right now, I can't do it. Matt would have to do it. But here's what ends up happening. So yesterday we're driving down
Laura,
to the property.
can you put that in the chat so people can go sub for Asher's YouTube channel, please?
Thanks,
Thank you.
babe. Thanks. So we're driving down there and he says, Dad, what are some things that you wish you knew at my age? And I was like, wow, what a great question. Let's turn that into a YouTube video. So I went through, I sat in front of the house and I wrote down these things, and I'm sitting in front of the house that we just bought. We bought it subject to, so I didn't use any of my own credit, none of my own credentials, which means I didn't have to show job history. I didn't have to show bank history, tax returns, nothing. Didn't have to show anything. Then I didn't have to use any of my own cash, which was crazy. Absolutely crazy. My son's like, he's 15. He's like, but hold on, you didn't use any cash. I go, no. A lot of times I don't use cash at all, but the majority of the time I am using cash. I'm just using somebody else's cash. And he's like, but who? And I always look at it and I say, private money, when somebody says private money, it doesn't register in people's brains, right? They have a hard time understanding what private money actually is. They think it's like a bank. Guys, imagine if I wanted to, I remember this is a great story. I've never told this story before. So I had an uncle. I turned 16. He sees I'm working really hard. I'm getting good grades. He flies in from California, visits me in Utah for my birthday, 16-year-old birthday. And he says, what do you want to do? And I go, I don't know, man. Let's just go out to eat. So we drive from Provo up to Salt Lake and we drive by the REI store. You ever been in an REI store?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have. You've been there with me one time.
Oh, wait, it's like where you get, oh yeah, of
yeah,
course.
I bought a Patagonia and you told me one time it was a Patagucci. And I was, every time I see Patagonia now, I think Patagucci.
Yeah.
So yeah. I see REI and I go, oh, let's go there. I want to buy something. Okay. So I go in there and I see this Columbia multi-layered jacket. It has like fleece on the inside, like the ones you can disconnect from each other, and then the waterproof outer shell. Yeah. But it was a $500 coat. I'm 16, dude, back in what, 2001, 2000, around that time. $500 might as well have been $100,000.
Right.
And he goes, I'll help you buy it. How much do you have? And he goes, I just bought my girlfriend something. I have no money. And he goes, okay, here, I'll do you a favor. I'll buy this jacket for you, but you have to pay me back in 3 months, $700. I still have that coat to this day. It's white and blue and white. My wife will attest to this. I have a blue and white Columbia jacket with a black fleece inner thing. And I bought a coat with no money out of my own pocket. And what I did is I went out and I paid monthly payments on that, right? Still to this day, that jacket still provides value to me. It's the same thing with real estate. You can go buy real estate with other people's money. Here's the difference. And this is what Henry was talking about. I can now take that real estate, Jamil's house that he just bought for $950, turn it into an asset that's producing cash and pay down my lender. And so people go, well, what's a private money lender? Your uncle. Literally, your uncle could be a private money lender. Your sister, your cousin, somebody down the street. That's a private money lender. The person who bought my first Columbia jacket for me was a private money lender. It was literally my uncle. Okay. So nobody successful in real estate is using anybody's money other than other people's money. When you fix and flip, 100% of everything, the purchase price, the closing costs, the real estate fees, the wholesale fee that we might have paid, the construction, Every little thing is paid for by somebody else's money.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of the time, you're not using credit. When you're buying with Creative Finance, you're using zero credit. Guys, it's not 10% of the time that we do it this way. It is 100% of the time. It is not the exception. It is the absolute standard in which we operate. Now, when people go, well, what do you mean you're not using your own money? Jamil just bought a big fancy vehicle. How does he not have money? We invest our money in things that yield a higher return than a fix and flip ever does.
Yep.
So we'll go buy title companies. We'll go buy other things. We'll put money in other investments, and we let the real estate get purchased by somebody else's credit, somebody else's down payment, somebody else's everything, and we're owning and building assets with everything other than our own
Pace
cash.
and I are in an investment right now that we won't talk about what the investment is, but what did we make this month in it? Did you
I don't know what
at
I
it?
made. I just know that we've been in it for 4 months, and I've doubled. Basically, it's 25% a month, roughly.
Do you guys even realize that is possible?
25% a month, which means
month.
300% a year.
So open your minds.
And that's a great segue. I do have a hard stop. I got to jump off here. But what I do want to say about this comment is the key word here is trying. I've been trying for 20 years. Well, stop trying and just do it. When we all talked about our goals, did one of us say the word try? Did one of us say, we're going to try to do this for our goals? We're going to try to.
Great
Not
question.
one of us said the word try. We said what we're going to do because we truly believe it in our minds. And that's the step. If you've been trying for 20 years, stop trying. Instead, wake up every morning and write down, I will flip my first house in 2023. Write that down 3 times every morning. You'll be surprised how fast you find the deal, you find the money, and you get it done. Stop trying.
That's a good point. If you write that down 3 times every single morning, you'll be blown away by all the magnetism
100%.
that comes towards you.
You see Candyman 3 times in the mirror and you're covered in bees.
That's it. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us, Henry. You are absolutely incredible.
Where can people find him?
Yes,
where
please.
Where can people find you, Henry?
Best place is Instagram. I'm at the Henry Washington on Instagram, or check my website, henrywashington.com.
Awesome.
Love you guys. Love you, Henry Washington.
Love you guys, man. Thank you
See
so
you
much.
next week.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.